Alright guys, so I'm tired today. I'm gonna just say it as it is. A little tired today, but this product came in just a couple days ago actually, and I'm super excited to open it and kind of start using it. So I figured I gotta get this done. Today's a great day to do it. So we are looking at this really cool, and it is something that I've been wanting for a while, especially since you guys all know I'm trying to set up a second kind of room for doing these little video shoots so that I can expand a little bit, give you guys a little change in the background every once in a while, just to spice it up a bit, you know, spice of life. That's what it is. So I wanted to be able to set up a camera a bit further back than I normally have it. Like this camera here's just a little further than arm's reach. The one that I want to set up over there is going to be a lot further. Not a lot further, but definitely not something that I'll be able to sit and touch the camera or even really monitor it, because my hope is that it's going to be kind of behind me shooting towards the screen. So I wanted to figure out a way to be able to see what the camera was seeing to make sure that I was in the shot properly, or if I had to move over that I could see it without having to turn around and figure all that out. So didn't want to run an HDMI cable because that was just a nuisance. We got this HollyLand. HollyLand? I'm hoping I'm saying that right. HollyLand Mars 300 Pro Enhanced. Now this is a 300-foot dual HDMI wireless video transmission system. So this is going to be able to pair up with my camera, your camera, whatever you're using, and be able to send that signal wirelessly to the receiver. So for me, I'm going to be either using something like one of these, which is a field monitor that you could use if you want. This could be really useful for those times, for instance, that you want to be able to use something like this in conjunction or association with something like that right there. I don't know if you can see it, but that's a DJI Ronin, because nobody wants to be able to balance your camera with this on it, because the balance is going to be weird and your camera is going to be tilting and moving and everything's going to be happening. Maybe you want this off to the side on the arm so you can just constantly see that while the camera is doing its thing. But again, you don't want a cable because that cable is going to be kind of flopping around and it's going to throw the balance off. So an HDMI transmitter could be super useful for that as well. Or you may be just using something like this, where we have an actual small little thin one of these portable battery operated. It can be battery operated, just a power brick, or you plug it in. But this allows you to be able to see, again, something that's coming off the camera. This may be actually something that I use in the other room, and I just kind of lay it on the table, kind of outside shot, so you guys don't necessarily see it, nice and flat, which I like. It's just because it's so thin, like that's a monitor. That's crazy, right? It's a 13-inch, perfect. This I usually have attached to this camera here, so, but useful. But we're gonna take a look at this right now, see what comes in the box, see how it performs. Oh yeah, it's kind of exciting. Coming up. All right, guys, so here it is. Here's the box. You guys can see it. HollyLand for a better view. Better view. We like better views. Mars 300 Pro Enhanced. And if you look over here, this is their website. I will put links to their website down in the description, as well as to their Amazon listing. And Mars 300 Pro dual HDMI 300-foot wireless video transmission system. You guys can see all the specs here. So 300-foot range, which is fantastic. I literally need this to go like 10 feet. So this is going to be perfect. 0.08 per second minimum latency. That's awesome. Real-time app monitoring. 2 times HDMI in and loop out. Thumb wheel switch menu. Side OLED screen. Built-in antennas, which is great. There it is. You can see a little image there with the actual transmitter on top of a camera on a gimbal, which I'll probably actually use in the future. 300-foot transmission range, which is awesome. There it is, going to probably a field monitor. I like the fact that it's nice and simple for the switch. It's just a push and spin, which is great. Multiple power options. Now my hope is that it says this can actually be charged via like a battery brick, anything that has a Type-C charging. But I'm wondering L series. So it does use the Sony batteries, which I believe I have a couple of them charged up right now, so even better. HDMI in and out for loop, side OLED screen, real-time app monitoring. Oh, supports up to 3 phones and tablets real-time monitoring with pro monitor features such as waveform, focus peaking, zebra zoom, 3D LUTs, etc. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Firmware update and channel scan on app. So this looks like a super all-in-one nice little transmitter for you and I. So let's crack open the box. Let's stop just staring at it. So there's the box. Again, nothing really fancy on the back. It's just a white box, which is okay. Okay by me. This is gonna be good. Gonna be good. Gonna be good. And here we go. So first off, we do get a Mars 300 Pro manual, and I will definitely be looking at this. This video right now is just gonna be a nice unboxing and a simple setup. We're gonna just kind of plug it into these devices, or one of these devices, just to make sure it's working, just to see how I think it'll function. Manual wise, color, good. So here's your typical setup: camera to the transmitter. That will have a loop out to a monitor, so if you need it to go to a monitor that's physically on, let's say the camera or the gimbal, so you don't lose that as well. And then it can wirelessly send out to monitor, the app, and another monitor. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. Product interface, installation, shows you how to set it up and use it. And everything's a good size. There's the actual app. So we'll do a second video, I think, for this, where we kind of showcase the app. I don't want this video to get too long, so we're gonna break it up into 2. We'll do a second one with the app, because I think that's kind of cool. But yeah, nice manual, nothing wrong with that at all. And here we go. These are lovely. Built really nice, they feel really solid. Anything else inside here? Good box. Oh yeah, so hopefully you guys can see that. I'll move these to the side. Underneath each of these, there's a piece of foam, and you will get, looks like there's gonna be your antennas. So you get your antennas, which is good. And in this side, you're gonna get a USB-A to USB-C cable. You get a couple different like shoe adapters. So this is gonna go cold shoe to the 1/4 inch. And you get another, it looks like a mounting bracket. So that looks like everything in the box. We'll put the manual back here. Throw this stuff all in there. We'll come back to that stuff later. But that's a whole bunch of fantastic. That's what that is. Yep. So this is really everything, not the monitor. You don't get a monitor, that's up to you. This is everything that kind of comes in the box. So they label right on there, so hopefully you guys can see this. I'm being loud now, right? There's your transmitter, there's your receiver. This is, it looks like your mounting. Maybe that's gonna, so if you needed to mount this, for instance, this way versus this way, right? So this way versus this way, you can take this, for instance, and screw this on. And this would be really useful, especially for those of us, and it only comes with one, so you get to choose how you're gonna mount this. So depending on if you're going to mount this on your camera, then you'd wanna put the transmitter like this, versus maybe like this. Maybe you got too much stuff. This just doesn't work, it doesn't fit right. So you could actually take this little piece, just kind of slide it in here. Now the one thing I do wish that they would have put in here, which they didn't, but that's okay. It's just a small thing. These can thumb tighten pretty good, and you probably don't want them to go too tight. So maybe a thumb tight is okay. But it would have been nice for them to, oh yeah, you can get those pretty tight. Tight enough. It would have been nice to have just a little tiny screwdriver, but not a big deal. So there you go. Now you have this so they can mount this way. Battery up. And do I have a battery that's functional? Maybe. Maybe this one. If not, I got some big ones. So that's going to be your transmitter. That's going to be your receiver. So let's talk about the transmitter first. Here it is, transmitter, Mars 300 Pro. This, of course, is where you're going to actually screw your antennas in. There's your battery mount. On the side here, looks like your power, and there's that nice little toggle switch with your screen. It also has on this side your USB-C port. So if you want to be able to power this from, let's say, a battery brick, if you don't have like Sony batteries, you can power it from a battery brick. And there is your loop out and your HDMI in. So this is going to come in from your camera out to, let's say, a field monitor that may be attached to the camera or attached, let's say, to a gimbal. So that will have that nice little loop recording coming out to that, which is really cool. We are gonna take these little covers off, and I'd keep those because if you're gonna store this maybe in the box or store this, well, wherever, you wanna be able to take these probably off, these little antennas off, and be able to store them and be able to keep those covers on there so that you can protect the ends. But there you go, and these bend, which is super nice, right? You can just kind of get them in position, bend them out if you need to. Yeah, that's handy. So that's your transmitter. And then of course you have your receiver. So your receiver as well, this one's gonna have that same kind of thing. It has that 5 volt or that USB-C. So if you wanna use a power brick, 2 HDMI outs on this. So you're getting all kinds of connections and monitors. You got everybody looking at this stuff, which is great. On this side again, you're gonna have the on-off switch. There is your little menu button, the screen for the receiver. This is where your Sony battery, your L series battery can go, and your 1/4 inch. Now again, it doesn't come with 2 of these little adapters, it only comes with 1. So you kind of have to make sure that you choose which side you want. But that's all right. So I have mine set so the transmitter is actually gonna go on the camera like that, which should work fine. And the receiver is gonna sit with me by the device. So that's also good. And again, you have this little adapter. So, which I like, because let's say you just have a power brick and you're like, I don't have one of those little USB-C to USB-A adapters. And you're like, now I'm sad. And I only have 1 Sony battery. Then you can just undo this because it comes with a cable, which is awesome. Comes with a cable. Let's pretend that's my transmitter right there. And all you would do is this goes in, snap. This goes into your battery. Make sure it's the one that produces, I think it says 5. This should fire up. Oh, and you can actually hear this. It's almost like it has a little fan in it. And you guys can see that, right? There it is. It's on, it has a little fan icon. Oh, it's getting better and better by the second. I think that's awesome. Okay, we'll turn this off. I'm loving it. Okay, so what we're gonna do, this is the transmitter. I'm gonna take my little tiny M50 here. So this is my M50. And this is showing, you don't need a fancy camera to do this. We're gonna take this fella, which is this guy right here. We're gonna take so much stuff. This is the little adapter it comes with. So this is gonna go 1/4 inch right here to cold shoe. So we're gonna put that in there, spin that in, right? That's gonna get all locked up nice. Make sure it's nice and straight, good. And then this is coming in right there. And actually what we may do, because I want the antennas in the back, I think, we're gonna just snug that up. All right, and now we're rocking and rolling. You guys can see that, we got that up. I can turn these antennas to get them up if I want. Now, for me, I am going to take one of these big Sony batteries that I have, and that's a good big size Sony battery. And that's just gonna go right in there. And again, we have our display. Hopefully you guys can see that. And if we turn that on, you can hear the fans kick in and it boot up. So really nice. That's awesome. Now the one thing of course this doesn't come with is an HDMI cable. So I'm gonna pause this for a second. I'm gonna go find myself an HDMI cable and we're gonna test to see how this works. Hopefully I have 2 HDMI cables because I think I kind of need that. All right, 2 secs guys, I'll be right back. Okay, so I've been searching around because this camera of course needs like a micro HDMI and not as easy to find as you might think. But I have one, I got one. So it's in here, it's really long, that's fine. And then this is gonna go to HDMI, you guys can hopefully see this. This is gonna go into HDMI in. So you can see it coming from my out HDMI to my in HDMI. So right there. Long cable, longer than I probably want. I'll probably end up getting something smaller. So that part I think is all set up. I'm pretty sure. This is the receiver, and this is kind of the important part. So I'm gonna try to power this one from this battery brick. Instead of actually getting a Sony battery, I'm gonna do it from the battery brick. So we're gonna do the same thing. This is HDMI, so I need a full-size HDMI, which I should have here somewhere. It's just one of those days. Here's my bin of cables. Bin of cables, I think that one's good. You guys have a bin of cables? Yeah. You know, you get these cables and you're like, I should probably keep those. And then when you need them, you can't find them. Okay, so first off, let's go into the feel world here. So we're gonna move the battery brick over there. We're gonna set this there. And we are just going to kind of tilt this down a little bit. I don't know if you can see all of it, but this is going to have HDMI in. All right, here we go. HDMI in, and this is going to go HDMI out. Yep, more cables than we know what to do with. It's all happening here. Hopefully you guys can see everything. And this one again needs a battery. So we are bringing, actually, we're gonna do it this way. You're getting a Sony battery just like usual. All right, Sony battery in, that's good. Not on yet. This is gonna get this, which I think should plug in. So much stuff. Okay, booted, showing nothing. That's okay. We're gonna turn the camera on. Good. We're turning this on. Good. And we're turning this on. Oh, I got a HollyLand, so that's seeing that. Okay, so I think maybe checking. And my concern is this cable. I don't know how good this cable is because normally this should pop up like right away. That says 4, that says 4. So they're on the same signal. So that's good. This is saying please check video source. So that's coming through, which is good. Now my concern though is that this camera isn't doing it properly. So what I may do, you guys hold tight. I'm going to actually bring, and not use this right now, because it may be this cable I'm having issues with. I'm gonna connect it to this camera. Hold on, 2 more secs, I'll be right back. Okay, so we got something. Here, I've done some reconfiguring, just so you guys can see it. So here it is. One of the things, I don't know if you guys can see this, is I'm using this Feel World F5 Pro, I believe it is. This is the monitor. And I had it plugged in with this fella, but I realized that on the back, this can actually mount directly onto the back of the F5 Pro. So it actually powers through the unit, which is fantastic. But here you go. This is, as you can see, no cables, all kinds of magic. And it's showing up right there. And is there a delay? Like they said, it's small, maybe 0.08 is, but that's completely usable. You know, and you can put that wherever you need to. That's fantastic. I love that. So a few things just to be kind of aware of. You want to make sure that your camera is not outputting anything higher than 1080p because that's all this can support. So a lot of cameras have an auto, so they'll auto detect. If it doesn't and it has something that's set to allow you to determine what that signal is going to be, make sure it's 1080, 24, 30, 60, somewhere in that range. Don't go outputting 4K if your camera can, because this won't be able to handle that. But there you go, that's fantastic. Now, this is nice and simply plugged in. To play around with this, and it's hard to see it on here because I do have it attached, all you have to do is push the little button in here. Now, the manual is fairly basic because everything should really function. Now, one of the issues I had was I was getting a no video signal, and all I had to do was turn the camera off and back on again once everything was turned on and it fired. So if you kind of have the camera on when you plug everything in, it was coming up with no video signal. You want to make sure the camera can initialize, I guess, properly so that it knows the signal has to get pushed out. But that's coming out very nice, actually. So there you go. This is just a quick look. One of the things too to realize in here with that little toggle switch, that ability to push it and scroll, so it's a push down, and if you just tap it and scroll up and down, it's going to go through the different frequencies. So they will try to auto pair, find a frequency from 1 through 8 that they kind of work well with. If for whatever reason it's not, you and I have the ability to kind of tap on that button. You'll see the frequency 1 through 8 again, flash, and you and I can move it up and down. So we can change a different frequency, and we'd have to do that on both the receiver and the transmitter. Not a big issue, but has to be done. Also, if you long hold it, you'll actually go into a menu, and that menu allows you to pair if they aren't paired already, but they should be. But if for whatever reason they weren't, or became unpaired, this would allow you to go in and pair. It does allow you to go in and access or change the Wi-Fi password. Now the password right now is that standard, 1 through 8. So that works really well. The last thing that you'll have is like fan information. One of the things that the screen also shows is how much voltage is coming through. So right now mine is saying 7.3 volts. Should be fine. It's not going to get full strength because again it is powering the actual display that I have right here. You guys can see it. All right, my friends, I'm going to leave you here. This is super cool. I'm going to probably be using this actually down the road to try, because we're going to set it up in the other room and it's going to be my actual office monitor setup with camera over there. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'm going to put links down below if you guys are interested in this. I think it's actually really cool. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next video. There'll be a part 2 for this, for sure. Most definitely. All right, guys. Later.